Cool. We're here at our little Tuesday meetup, and I'm just discussing a recent job that I did, which was Think African. It's a podcast based out of Joburg, and I was the audio editor on the job. And yeah, so it was 11 episodes, which are now complete. And my job was to take the raw audio and edit it together so that it matched the script written by my editor, Jedi Ramalapa. So yeah, the whole job came in at about at 1,000 rand an episode, and each episode ended up taking me at least 4 hours. So I was a little bit. I thought that might be a bit low for my level of expertise, but I was happy to have the job. Now, one of the main challenges that I faced was that the Sound Africa wanted me to work in their chosen software called Hindenburg, which is a new DAW. It's a new editor. I'm far more comfortable in Ableton and Reaper, and they issued me a license to Hindenburg, which I then had to subsequently like install and download and figure out and watch a bunch of tutorials on. So there's that setup cost that you've got to be aware of when you're a freelancer. Like not everything's going to be on your terms. You'll be amazed at how many different programs there are out there and how many different ways of doing things there are. And you always think your one makes the most sense, and then you try to convince other people to adapt to your method, and it never works because it's a team thing and you're not in charge. So as a freelancer, you've really got to be like, expect these like hammer blows to come so that you can either dodge or parry them. So learning Hindenburg took much more time than I was comfortable with, and I still don't think it's as good as Reaper in terms of podcast editing. So that was one thing that I can pass on, is like not to expect that things are going to be on your terms. And also, whatever you're charging, it's probably gonna, if you're charging an hourly rate, which I'm starting to move away from, I'm starting to look more at value-based propositions. So the entire thing is going to be, an 11 episode series. Okay, that's worth this much, rather than going, 250 an hour or 400 an hour, because that generally backfires when you realize that you're doing twice as much work than you would in an hour. It's the same thing with my English teaching. I have agreed to teach English for $30 an hour, $35 an hour to Koreans. And I do that now twice a week. And the admin time is another hour, which I don't get paid for. So setting up classes and lesson prep. So that's two things from my side of this past week. Quite glad to see the end of Think African. I enjoyed the stories and everything, but I've learned quite a few lessons from that whole process. Next time I will be finding out more about the software that's being used and what the processes and protocols are. Like OneDrive, for example, is to me counterintuitive, and the storage limitation of 5 gigs was too much, too little space for high def podcast files. The other thing is, just watch your hourly earnings and try and aim for value-based propositions instead. So that's it. That's my story from the week, and my 6 minutes are up. So the idea now being that you share something that you've done and how we can learn from it, or you're welcome to just go ahead and access, just share whatever you want. If it's something that you're proud of and you'd like feedback on a track, or you'd like to ask how you can improve something, I think that's a good format for this thing, right? Just like everybody gets a chunk of time. Ross, you were next in the queue. Why don't you talk to us, man? What do you need help with?
Oh man, and yeah, thanks for that. I can definitely add to that in terms of the file format as well. So, and then look, I'm a Cubase user, right? So, also, yeah, you guys all need to use Cubase. I'm not going to back you up, but that's the thing, right? But look, at the same way, I think, look, the big daddies, they are meant to sort of handle any format anyway, and they complicated for that reason, right? Or extra complex for that reason. But I think it's the look of it overall that's how we eventually choose the programs we use, right? Because everything can do anything now anyway.
Yeah.
So that's kind of why. Anyways, but the format part. So the IVR, for those that don't know, that's your geez, I can't remember what it stands for now. But it's when you call the systems you call into, and then please press this for this one and that for that one.
Yes, I've done that stuff before.
There we go.
Interesting stuff.
Yeah, and look, those kind of things. That's also going to be when John and I were talking about it, was the emotional investment in that versus the rest of the stuff. Obviously, that's not very creative and all that, but when you are called into play as your professionalism there, right, and how you can deliver the product, things that you can sort of forward think as well. So so that everything that John mentioned there, that's to help save yourself time as well, but it does end up giving you that extra professional image as well, right? Because now you almost teaching them what they are meant to be doing. So for instance, the IVR system, that goes down to like 8-bit files, right? So in this instance, if you emotionally invested in the recording, it's pointless because that is just sucked out completely. I know we all come from that. I cannot bear to listen to recordings after this. Like, anyway, but that is obviously those are going to pay the bills as well. So you're going to take lots of learning points from that, right? And then to your point, the only time I dig these kind of jobs, anything that's not music related really, is when the storyline is cool, or it's a new product you're actually interested in, or like I didn't even know we had a space industry really, and I just didn't add for someone who didn't know at all. It's like, okay, damn, I need to learn this out, check this out as well. But on the music side, yeah, I'd actually hoped to play you guys with stuff. I played it to John already, but yeah, needed to sort out my computer, all stuff like that, but everything's go again. But I think in terms of the remixes you were speaking to, Matt, as well, I think you might be interested in my process. I'd love to check out your process as well. And I forget we had another film school guy in here, right?
Jack.
He's not joined.
Yeah, he's not yet today.
It's mainly the voiceover side and producing, right?
Oh, well, I mean, this forum is for self-reliant creators of original content or work. So yeah, I guess we are music is the central meeting point. Yeah.
General right there, which is
Yeah.
the same.
Yeah.
So I have to give feedback as well, but I don't think I've got the online presence that you guys have, right? Like I've been to hide from well, the internet in general. So if you
smart man.
Yeah, but in terms of, I think the technical side of all of this and the business side, right? I think that is generally what we all have to lacking onto the most, right? So when you mentioned the fees and all of that, because if you are just like as a voiceover artist, right? I mean, I'd like to ask Django that side as well. So like, are you represented by anyone? Do you have a set rate? Or are you getting your own work? Is it what's like specific ads or how much? Because like you mentioned the hip hop thing, right? Are you could you even do that as well? Like pretend to be a hip hop artist, like
like everyone else?
I don't know. I know I'm supposed to be talking for like 6 minutes, but
no, that's good. So Django, Ross is asking you if you're represented by anyone as a voice artist or if you got any flat rates.
Hey, sorry guys, I have another meeting that starts in a minute and a half.
Peace out, homie.
So I'm gonna have to head off shortly.
No worries.
But I don't really have anyone representing me. No.
Cool. Well, I mean, I can suggest, I mean, just if it's extra work or whatever, I suppose, right? So one of my clients, and I get a lot of this kind of work through them, they call the voice scouts. In general, so like if I say, if any job that I get and they don't that I give to them, I pass over this bank as well. So
cool. You guys connect on that. Django, you're probably stressing, so cheers, buddy. Hang up.
Cool, man. Yeah, right. Shot, guys.
Adios, dudes. Nice to see you again.
See you later.
All right, cheers.
Cheers.
Sorry to interrupt, Ross. That's a bit of an abrupt way to cut into what you were saying.
What are we talking about?
So I'm curious mostly as to where and how you find work. So is it by reputation or do you actually go out looking for it?
Mainly reputation, which is like I should be going out to get it. The most I've advertised is on like the Gumtree really. And like Facebook, I created Facebook pages then in the beginning, but YouTube, I suppose, I haven't looked at them in a while. So the plan was to actually update all of that while, you guys are giving me my but it's strange to still want to only do that, man. It just feels like maybe it's because I don't want this to be a studio versus a freelance thing, right? Like a studio where there's just people here all the time. I still feel it's kind of my baby, right? I mean, could you check yourself doing that and just like having your studio over to like somebody else for a week?
Oh,
All
okay.
strangers.
So you're not happy with the idea of sort of hiring out the space. I mean, you do also live there.
Well, I mean, I could do with, I mean, with the living is fine, but I just kind of feel that like I've tried to make the studio everything, right? So I mean, like it's got
Mm,
the DJing side, the lighting side, the everything side, right? So
mm,
it does kind of feel like I used to be a captain of the ship all of the time,
yeah.
but uh, I've been wanting to set up a second part of that, like the drum recording room, basically downstairs, like
Mm,
that. I would that's a space like you mentioned, Soundcast as well, right?
mm.
Whereas look, if fine. Yeah, so good point. Maybe it's something like that as well. Mm.
Cool, man. Well, that's nice. A little oversight. I mean, every week I get a little more info on what everyone does, and what I'd like to do at some point is for us to all share our
Yeah.
previous work, stuff we've got online, and also stuff we haven't got online, and just kind of share more and more about how we're doing business. Basically, that would be beneficial, I think, to everybody.
Yeah, I think
Um,
that doing everything all the time, it's kind of like, okay, what have I done this week?
yeah, you're thinking chunks. You were talking about 8-bit music. I think I've got an 8-bit brain, bro. Like just one thing at a time. Um, cool, man. Matt, tell us your side of things, man. Give us a 6-minute spiel where you have our attention.
6 minute spiel. All right, cool. Can you hear me at the
Yeah,
moment?
yeah,
It looks
okay.
like you can. Let me just see if I can adjust me here and see if you can hear Ableton ground control.
So while you're doing that, the best tool for that I've found for this kind of routing is what I'm sharing my screen with you now. It's OBS. OBS, the open source software. Oops, that looks like a bit crazy. So what you could do then is, as I've got it here, Restream. Restream is, if I were to open Reaper up now, I could play back audio files through OBS and it comes up as a source, which I could then control. So I do this for example, when I want to play back some English tutorial audio for my class. This is a very good tool. I think we might be flipping over to Discord, but this thing, OBS is super helpful for sharing media. Cool. Figure it out.
I think he's muted himself now.
Can you share your screen with us, Matt? Maybe we can help you because this is a valuable thing to know.
And also, John, like so that there, I'm obviously doing the output version of that, right? So it's obviously convenient without having to wear headphones or whatever, but the fact that I'm listening to orgs versus sending you stereo and all of that. But I just wanted to check the latency as well compared to when you were playing keys, right? So
Oh,
technically
yes.
you can see like if there's no delay in the picture and the sound, right?
Let's test it out. So here's a visual demonstration. I'm just going to play a note. Oops. Can you hear it? How's the timing?
It's not bad, yeah. It's not bad at all.
Right. It must be under 100 milliseconds. Okay. Oof. And then Ross, what is your setup there? How are you doing this without headphones and preventing feedback? And
Okay, so I've got my sort of visual laptop, which just gives me the graphic EQs and stuff to anything. I've got Zoom running on there, right? And then I've got sound card, which is receiving from my stereo. So my mic is sending stereo to you guys, which
Okay.
I might as well. I mean, it's all coming through the same and stereo all the time, no matter the PC that's plugged in. And I've got you guys are coming back to me and I'm listening to orgs when that's happening. So this mic is never really feeding. So that's why there's no feedback.
Okay, cool.
Then it should be cool, but look, next week or next time, I'm going to hopefully run you through some of the songs because I want to upload like this now, right? So but there's 3 that are going to connect and just to get the same sort of feedback as well. Obviously, trust you guys, yeah. Yeah.
Well, while we're sorting out technical stuff, could you just tell me, can you hear this playing in the background now? Can you guys hear that? Sounds like a bad piano.
No,
Can't hear anything there.
I'm just hearing you clicking. It's not coming through your main speakers either. I imagine it's through your camera.
How about now?
No.
Nothing, huh? Okay. I'll have to sort that out. Cool. That's fine. We're all just sorting out technical stuff now. It's all good. What I was trying to do was... Okay, let's figure that out. Desktop audio 2, monitor only, mute output. Yeah, this stuff can get very tricky. I mean, I've been frustrated in the past with how some of this stuff goes. Right, let's try another one. Could you tell me, can you hear this? Not yet, huh? Not. Okay.
And Matt, are you trying to put out a similar thing? Like keeping your...
Yeah, I'm trying to, because I had it on my other computer that I could just like share the audio straight from Ableton straight through to Zoom, and it didn't. I mean, it was pretty simple
Yeah.
to set up in the app itself. Like, it was really simple. So
This is where it would be useful to have Django, because his work is this kind of broadcasting, like routing audio and stuff.
yeah, I mean, it's not. I've never found it. I've honestly never found it tricky. The only thing I've often found with Zoom is like they keep moving their shit around, and it's like it's not intuitive, you know.
Right. Yeah.
You've also disabled screen sharing, just by the way.
Have I? That means that. In fact, let's just reboot the chat. We're going to run out of time, so I'll call you guys back. Still got another 20 minutes.
Okay. So we'll
Yeah,
just redial back in.
just rejoin the chat. Yeah. Cool.
Okay. Cool. Chat.